Hello, and how you doing? And welcome back to Jagoffs. I am Austin Cairns, joined here with
Lucas Cairns.
And welcome back to Jagoffs, and welcome to our 2025 NFL Mock Draft Special. This is the third year in a row here on Jagoffs that we are covering the NFL Draft, and I am very excited to do so. Lucas, this is your second, my man. We're going to go through and talk a little bit about every single team's need as they are going into the draft, what exactly they should do throughout the next couple of days, but we are actually going to predict night one only. We're not going to go through and do all 7 rounds because this episode is going to be 12 hours long. So to make it only an hour, we're going to go through the first round, the first 32 picks of the draft, and talk about the majority of the teams that we'll be selecting. We'll probably have some debates here or there about some players. I've kept up pretty good with the college football season this past year, and there's a lot of players on here that I know both myself and Lucas has covered extensively throughout the duration of the off-season and the transition into training camp season, which will be beginning very, very soon. We're going to hopefully have some special guests on as well in the next couple months to help break down the NFL even further, so it's not just Lucas, my dad, and myself. With that all being said, though, Lucas, my man, how's it going with you? I'm excited to do this again this year. It's a big episode for us.
Yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully I get a couple correct at least. As you know, I'm not as big into college football, but I think my top 5 through 10 are pretty solid. After that, I just kind of looked at some other people's mock drafts and looked at some team needs and just kind of freeballed it. But
of course, and it's hard to keep up with every college football team. Like, I would be lying to you if I said I watched every single game of every single college football team last year, but the draft is one of the toughest sports to study, especially with how many positions there are, how many teams there are, how many colleges there are. Mm-hmm. There's just so much you got to worry about.
Also, I'm about to butcher like half the names on my list, so I apologize in advance.
Yeah, both of us do apologize in advance.
There's some names on here, like, I don't even know how to even consider saying them.
I'll get the first 4. After 5 through 32, good luck. But it's going to be a good episode. I'm excited for it. We had probably one of my favorite promos that we've ever done uploaded today. I think it came out slightly before this episode on some platforms. Lucas, what did you think of the promo, my man? Shout out to my dad and you and me for all going all out on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I am one of the best editors of all time, so, made a pretty good promo.
How did my dad do playing Goodell?
Your dad did a very good job. I was impressed. The hair was a nice touch, I don't know how he grew such a luscious hair in such a short amount of time since I see him last.
I know, and he's bald already again.
Yeah, he's bald already. I mean, he shaved off pretty quick. He just wanted to get this promo done. I mean, he's been growing it for a little bit now. No, it was a fun promo to make, though. It was something that we came up with kind of, I was going to say last second. We actually thought about this a long time ago, but then kind of forgot to plan it out until last second.
Shout out to my dad, though, for coordinating most of this, too. Like, literally, we kind of just showed up there with an idea of what we wanted to do, and he was like, no, let's do this, this, and this. And we were like, you know what? Yeah, this is actually going to make it 10 times better. Let's do it.
Didn't I think of this with you on the phone, like, during, like, the mega planning day?
Yeah, you came up with it the mega planning day. I kind of added bits and pieces to it. Then we just kind of didn't talk about it for a couple weeks. And then my dad was like, yeah, this is good, but let's expand on that. And between the 3 of our expertise on promos and acting and all that, we were able to make another banger. And yeah, I'm happy for it. I'm glad it's up on all platforms. And yeah, I think this is going to be a really good episode. And I think the promo is going to complement it very well. So with that all being said, I think it's time we maybe get into our NFL mock draft. We had a big week last week doing the Easter special on Sunday, and then, of course, going through everything with my dad. So this week, it's time to talk about the college football.
Yeah, let's be honest. We all know who's going first.
Yeah.
You're babying it too much. Just get into it. It's Cam Ward.
Okay. Thanks, Lucas.
You're welcome. I got you.
Well, with the number 1 overall pick, it is the Tennessee Titans. There is no rumor or rhyme or reason why they should trade away the number 1 overall pick as of right now. The Titans are dead set on probably getting a quarterback. Their room last year consisted of Will Levis and Mason Rudolph. Rudolph, of course, is back with the Steelers. Levis is still under his rookie contract. So Cam Ward will probably come in there, compete during training camp, but ultimately get the starting job day 1. That is who I have. I'm assuming that's who you have as well, Lucas. Quarterback from Miami. Originally played at Washington State. He has a nice frame, a nice build on him, but there are some question marks revolving around his 2-minute drill and his late game situational awareness. So that's something to take into consideration with Cam Ward, but he's still overall a phenomenal talent. What's your thoughts on Cam Ward going number 1 overall?
I think deserves it. I mean, he's pretty much the only quarterback in this draft that hasn't been moved around so far as to where they could land. His draft stock hasn't gone up. Obviously, it can't go more than number 1, but it hasn't gone down. He hasn't really been questioned last second, so I think he's probably gonna be the number 1 pick. I think it's gonna stay in the quarterback room as number 1 picks.
For sure. And I will say this: Cam Ward is not the best player in the draft, but he certainly is the best quarterback in the draft. That's something we have to take into consideration. Mm-hmm. I will say this: usually during my NFL draft cycle, I always try and do one trade or one move. This is the first year that I actually don't have a trade within my mock draft. I just have straight up 1 through 32. That's probably going to change on draft day. I'm not going to lie. There's going to be teams making aggressive pushes. But honestly, 2 through 32, you can make an argument for so many different people. None of them are locked in, it feels like. And I feel like with a slim, rare chance, we could maybe even see the number 1 overall pick being traded. So it's going to be interesting. But I'm going to go to you on this next one first, Lucas. The number 2 overall pick is held by the Cleveland Browns. The Browns, of course, division rival to your Pittsburgh Steelers. So this is a pretty big pick for them. There's 2 big names floating around. I think you know who I'm alluding to. I want to know who's on Lucas Kuhns' mock draft going number 2 overall.
Yeah, so if you listen to the radio show, we talked about this a little bit. Also, Nate's radio show.
Oh, yeah, shout out to Nate Shivens.
If any of you guys listen to that, me and you, I think, kind of debated it a little bit, but I'm going to stick with my boy Travis Hunter. He definitely deserves to go in the top 5, in my opinion. And out of the 5 teams in the top 5, I think that Travis Hunter would fit best in Cleveland out of any of these teams. I do understand that they kind of have a lot of issues going on right now and a lot of what-ifs going on right now. But I think a player that could... My problem is I don't know how they're going to draft him. I think they should draft him as a wide receiver. So that's what I'm going to base this on. But they could draft him for defense, possibly. They could draft him as a... He said he wants to play both sides of the ball. I don't know if he means the same game he wants to switch back and forth or different games he wants to switch. But I think they should draft him to focus on their offense and building it up, considering they have one of the best defensive players in the whole league right now. I think that they should focus on getting their terrible quarterback room some weapons to use.
See, this is where I would agree with you that Travis Hunter is one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver going into this class. But my biggest issue with the Cleveland Browns is they do not need a corner right now. Their corner room is pretty stacked right now with Denzel Ward leading that realm. So if Hunter were to go to the Browns would strictly want him to be a wide receiver. That is why I actually have Abdul Carter still at my number 2 overall pick, edge from Penn State. And you brought up a great point. They already have arguably the best edge, actually in my eyes, the best edge in professional football right now, that being Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is a monster. Myles Garrett is phenomenal. Putting Abdul Carter on the opposite side of him is called doomsday for opposing AFC North teams this upcoming season. When you're in the same division as the Baltimore Ravens, who has Lamar Jackson, who has Derrick Henry, which is the most explosive running back room in the league. When you have a Cincinnati Bengals team that has Jamar Chase on one side of the line of scrimmage and T. Higgins on the other with Joe Burrow throwing him the football. When you have a team in the Pittsburgh Steelers who, although do not have their running back room figured out right now, is notably known for running the football, that is a threat for the Browns. So the Browns being able to pair in Abdul Carter side by side to Myles Garrett takes their defense from already great to amazing, to elite level status, something we haven't seen in a couple of years since Kevin Stefanski first became the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Now the thing with Travis Hunter is I believe he's actually going to fit better at my number 3 overall pick, which I'm going to kind of transition into now, and then I'll throw it back to you, Lucas, so you can talk about your number 3 overall picks. I'm just assuming we have it flip-flopped like last year. Travis Hunter to the New York Giants, who's number 3 overall, makes more sense to me because the Giants will let Hunter play both sides. He can be a corner there and be a wide receiver there. I don't see a world where he can fit in being a corner in Cleveland. So with the Giants, him paired up with Malik Neighbors, that's awesome for Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston, depending who gets the start. Probably Russell Wilson. And then him being on that defense, that's already going to help because guess what? The defense is already pretty solid. Are we going to forget Kayvon Thibodeau is there? Adding Travis Hunter is going to make it 10 times better. I will say this, though, about the Cleveland Browns. I get where you're coming from. You make amazing points. I'm just going to say that their defense right now is something they should continue to build around, although it's already great. The offense is a train wreck. Drafting Hunter is not going to fix the offense because guess what? Who's throwing him the football? Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco. You're telling me that's who... So drafted Travis Hunter is not going to help him long term. It's going to help him maybe get some more yards, maybe get a little more points, but adding Abdul Carter is going to add in the long run versus Travis Hunter.
Yeah, my number 3 spot, I'm going to put Abdul Carter at number 3. I mean, you already broke him down, so not much else for me to add, really. The best edge in this draft, I'm going to give him it right now. You said probably, I'm saying the best. He's probably the best defensive player in this whole draft, in my opinion. Give or take.
No, he is. It's just there's another player, but we'll get to it.
Yeah. No, but New York needs a lot. This Abdul Carter going to New York would be a great addition for them. It's not going to save the team, but I think he would do a lot of good things for New York.
Of course, that's the cool thing about Abdul Carter. No matter where he goes within the top 5, every team will get better because of it. See, that's the presence he's going to make day one. So it's kind of like last year with the draft. I had Drake May above Jane Daniels. You had Jane Daniels above Drake May. So we kind of disagreed there, and then we disagreed with the wide receivers afterwards. So I'm assuming this is where we're going to start disagreeing now. So let's go into the number 4 overall pick. I'll kick us off with this one. New England Patriots, they need a lot of players right now. You can make an argument for wide receiver, you can make an argument for offensive lineman, you can make an argument for safety. I believe the key to the New England Patriots' success next year is to protect Drake May, is to build around Drake May. You already kind of have a solid foundation within your offense, and adding a guy in Mike Vrabel as the head coach is certainly going to take him over the top. So the player that I believe that they should draft, and this is kind of a no-brainer in my eyes, if he is still there, which he should, is Will Campbell, offensive tackle from LSU. And the reason for that is he, in my opinion, is the best tackle in the entire draft. He actually protected Jaden Daniels last year at LSU during his Heisman run. And he was one of the key reasons why Daniels got as much yardage as he did, got as much scrimmage plays as he did. Will Campbell is a monster. He's great at setting up and creating a hole of separation for the running back to run through. And I believe that is exactly something that Vrabel can utilize because let's not forget, Vrabel was formerly the head coach of the Tennessee Titans where he created one of the best offensive lines in football for Derrick Henry to run behind. I believe he can do the same in New England with the Patriots, and Will Campbell is the first piece to that puzzle.
I'm actually going to agree with you, Will Campbell.
Okay.
That's my number 4. I kind of hate whenever we're the same player because it's just repeats of what whoever won first said. But, yeah, I think Drake May definitely needs protected. He showed that he has the capabilities of being a starter in the league and taking the Patriots far into it. But he was getting pressured a lot, and not that this is going to help, but I think he just needs to be able to throw the ball to some weapons, but you can't throw the ball to weapons if you have no one protecting you. So
exactly, and you can get wide receivers later on. If a Travis Hunter happens to still somehow be there, yes, the Patriots better take Travis Hunter if he is still there.
That would be a no-brainer, yeah.
That would be a no-brainer, but outside of that, don't get me wrong, the other wide receivers are great, but I'm not going to lie to you, Lucas, most of the wide receivers that I have next actually aren't coming up for several more picks, and the reason for that is I don't exactly see them on the same level as a Travis Hunter or worth being drafted in the top 10, top 5. So we'll get to that in a little bit later on. I think it's now time we move into the number 5 pick. The 5th overall pick is held by the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. They had a pretty heartbreaking season last year with the injury to Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to bounce this one over to you, Lucas. Who do you got the Jaguars selecting at number 5?
I have them taking wide receiver. This is where I'm going to start butchering the names.
Is it McMillan?
Yeah, it's McMillan.
Taterio, I think.
Taterio, is that how you say it?
Is it A or O at the end?
O-A.
O-A. Taterioa.
Taterioa.
Just say McMillan.
McMillan.
Okay.
Wide receiver from Arizona. I think Jacksonville kind of was the team that everybody thought was going to be good and then kind of fell off. I think that Lawrence just needs someone to throw the ball to, honestly. They kind of worked on their defense a little bit more recently, and I think now it's time you start working on the offense. You have a quarterback that is able to get you to the playoffs under the right conditions. He has not been in the right conditions pretty much his whole career outside of maybe 2 or 3 seasons.
See, I like the point that you made because Jacksonville certainly needs weapons, especially with the departures of Ingram and Kirk and Zay Jones previously early on last year when he went to the Cardinals. But the Jaguars, to me, it's kind of the same story with the Patriots. The only difference is the Patriots have a younger quarterback. Jacksonville has a little bit more of an experienced quarterback. I believe they need to protect Trevor Lawrence. I mean, one of the main reasons why Lawrence went down to begin with was because he had no offensive line to protect him. And a guy that I believe a lot of people are overlooking on their draft boards is actually Ahmad Membo. I actually practiced that name. I got Membo, offensive tackle from Missouri. He's the second best, in my opinion, in the draft. He's not on the same level as a Will Campbell. Will Campbell's the generational tackle that you would want on your team, but he certainly is capable of being a day one starter. And the cool thing about Membo is you can actually move him around from tackle to guard if need be. Tackle and guard's two completely different positions, and I believe that he can actually make that jump to either or, which is something Jacksonville can honestly use because we've seen several of their players went down last year on that tackle. They were relying on practice squad guys towards the end of the year, even though they were completely out of playoff contention. So if Membo gets drafted to Jacksonville, I think that is the building block on what you can build upon to help out a Lawrence. And like I said before with the Patriots, you can get wide receivers later on. This is a pretty heavy wide receiver deep class, not as heavy as a tackle deep class. So I would take the tackle in the first round while you still can.
I'm going to go.
No, disagree? Okay.
I'm going with a different player, but I don't disagree with anything you said.
Okay. All right, number 6 is where things are going to get interesting. It is the Las Vegas Raiders. Would you like to go or do you want me to go on this one?
Doesn't matter.
It's up to you.
I can go.
You want to go?
I can
You
go.
can rock, paper, scissors it if you want.
I mean, I can just go.
Okay, you can just go.
Can you say what you were saying?
The Las Vegas Raiders has the number 6 overall pick. Who do you have, Lucas?
I thought you were going to say more than that.
No, that's it. They just have a lot to work on right now. They
do have a lot to work on. And I'm probably going to go with the popular, unpopular pick here and say Ashton Genty at number 6. I mean, easily one of the best players in the draft. Should have been the Heisman winner. Kind of got robbed there. I think he's probably one of the top 3 offensive players in the entire draft. And he's probably number 1 or 2. The only person I see being better than him is Travis Hunter, probably. And I think that he could help out the Raiders a lot, especially with them bringing in Pete Carroll, who's, I was going to say, likes to use the run game, but he also lost the Super Bowl because he didn't use the run game. But maybe he'll learn his mistakes and actually draft a good running back to work with.
Yeah, here's the thing. I also have Ashton Genty at the number 6 overall pick, and I'm really eating my words on this one because I'm known for saying that a running back should never be drafted in the first round, let alone the top 10. But if we saw anything from Jahmyr Gibbs or if we saw anything from Saquon Barkley, those players typically end up turning out really well. Ashton Genty was 2nd in the Heisman votes last year. That right there is a player that you want to keep an eye out for. And with the Raiders already building on bringing in Geno Smith, I don't see them drafting a quarterback first round, which kind of bothers me because Shedeur Sanders is right there. I think the Raiders should take him. I just don't see Sanders fitting in a Pete Carroll system. Genty, I certainly do. Genty's shown shades of Marshawn Lynch in the past, and let's not forget, Marshawn Lynch was the guy that should have ran it on the 1-yard line, Lucas. He should have ran it on the 1-yard line, but instead Russell Wilson threw a pick to end off the game to Malcolm Butler. By the way, I was watching that game live. It was crazy. I spilled my Doritos everywhere. But anyway, that's besides the point.
Just like you spilled your Pringles at WrestleMania?
I spilled my Pringles at WrestleMania. I spilled my Doritos on the Super Bowl with the Seahawks and Patriots. But Ashton Genty, man, I don't like this pick. I really don't. And I'm going to continue to dislike this pick because you don't draft a running back this high. But with the way the Raiders are running things right now and with what they need within their offense, it makes the most sense. So I give them a slight pass.
I mean, as much as this mock draft is opinionated, we're also giving you what we think the teams are genuinely going to pick. Whether we disagree or not, if we think they're going to go for it, we're going to tell you what we think. And I genuinely think that they are probably going with Genty. I agree with you. I don't think drafting a running back first round is smart, but Genty being the player he is, even if he's not 6, he's going in the first round. He's going to somebody. If he falls below 6, he's probably getting taken within the next couple spots because he's just one of those players. And I'm going to tell that. I'm not going to lie and say he should go 4th round because he's a running back. He's going first round.
And here's the thing. The Raiders are such a train wreck right now. I don't even know why they would bring in the Geno Smith and pay him this contract. If they were bringing in Geno as a bridge quarterback and then draft Sanders, I would be okay with it. But with them giving the contract extension to Geno and Pete Carroll...
That's not a bridge contract.
Pete Carroll's saying that he's the guy, that just shows that they're not interested in a quarterback.
I mean, they could Kirk Cousins the situation.
They could, but Pete Carroll's not going to do that to someone that he's known for that long. So... I agree. We got Genty at number 6. We'll see where this goes from here. Now, this is kind of where things are probably going to fall off, and me and you are either going to be all over the place or just agreeing on everything. So, I wonder how this is going to go.
I know, we're going to disagree at the spot.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, next up, I'm going to let you go first on this one because now I'm curious. We got number 7 overall is the New York Jets. The Jets have done quite some changes in the offseason. They lost several defensive players. They also brought in quarterback Justin Fields from the Pittsburgh Steelers, who seemingly is going to be their starting quarterback of the future, or at least for the next couple years. Lucas, my man, coaching changes as well, bringing in Aaron Glenn, former defensive coordinator, of the Detroit Lions. What's your thoughts and opinions here?
Well, at number 7, I have offensive tackle Armand Membu going, which is why we're disagreeing, because if I memory serves correctly, you're not putting him there.
Nope.
I think that protecting Justin Fields needs to be a top priority. He's not on a big contract at all, so I don't know if they plan on keeping him very long. But as for the time going, watching him on the Steelers be my quarterback, he can run, but he needs protection. He can throw, but he needs time. And putting both those things in consideration, he has potential to be a great quarterback, but if he's getting pressured the whole time, he's probably going to look like a mid to bad quarterback. But I think if you're able to build a line around him, give him some open slots, let him run down the field, get you a couple yards, get you a first down here and there, give him that extra second or two because you drafted a tackle, let him throw a good deep ball, good slant, good something like that, I think it's going to work out.
I love the thought process there, and if there was a better tackle available, that I would agree with you. The Jets certainly need a target tackle. But since I already have my top 2 tackles being taken by other teams, I'm going to lean more towards other concerns that the Jets need, and that is on the offensive front. That is Justin Fields' weapons. Garrett Wilson is easily going to be the number 1 guy for Justin Fields to throw the football to. And I still stand by the point that I made earlier that I don't believe any other wide receiver is really worth taking this high. So what I'm actually going to do is I have the New York Jets selecting Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State, at number 7. And the reason for that is I believe Tyler Warren, an experienced guy who's been at Penn State his entire career, can come into the NFL, work with a guy in Justin Fields, and be his safety blanket. Be the guy that Fields can rely on when Wilson is not open. He can set up screens. He can catch screens. He can run on the... He can also set up blocks for Fields. Fields is the type of guy to escape the pocket. Warren was projected by the NCAA as the best blocking and receiving tight end in the nation. The only other tight end that he was behind, the only other tight end that was behind him is the one I'm going to get into in a little bit, who I also have going in the first round. This is I wouldn't say a generational tight end, but this is certainly a first round capable tight end. I believe he's top 10 worthy, and I believe matching him with Justin Fields is going to help. He did it with Drew Aller at Penn State. Drew Aller is a guy who at times is a bit shaky in the pocket. So is Justin Fields. I think this would be a great weapon and a great resource for Fields to have. All right, it is now time we move into the number 8 overall pick. I'll kick us off. We got the Carolina Panthers, a team that has been kind of on the rebuild over the last couple years. They brought in Bryce Young 2 years back. Lucas, me and you went to hell and high waters debating him on that. You kind of finally came around last year, and we started to see some life within Bryce Young after him being benched for a couple of weeks in favor of Andy Dalton. This is now his team of the future, and I believe what the Panthers need to do to really take it over the top is to continue to build on that defensive line. The Panthers have potential to have one of the best defensive lines in football if they continue what they're doing. They had a great free agency. They had a great NFL offseason, and I believe they are 1 tackle away from having a solid defensive line. And why not draft the best tackle in the league, arguably best tackle in the draft, arguably the best defensive player in the draft behind Abdul Carter? I got Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan. This guy right here is a champion. This guy right here is a warrior. And this guy right here is so versatile to the point where you can throw him in at edge. You can have him on that defensive line. Hell, you can throw him at nose tackle if you really wanted to. Mason Graham is a guy that every team wants that needs defensive help, and the Panthers certainly do so. Mason Graham, Carolina Panthers, match made in heaven. This pretty much right here is equal to a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, Lucas. Peanut butter and jelly flows well together, so will Mason Graham and the Carolina Panthers. I'm hungry if you couldn't tell.
I have the Carolina Panthers taking Jalen Walker.
Ooh.
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 Getting excited over there.
Oh.
Oh.
We're gonna make the dogs bark again.
I know, we're going to make the dogs bark.
God, not again. Not 2 episodes. Was that Easter Day?
Yeah, that was Easter.
That was Easter?
That was Easter. Poor Braun Breaker. Hey, Braun Breaker's now with Seth Rollins. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. And Paul Heyman.
And Paul Heyman.
What a trio that no one expected. And Rusev is back. When I predicted him to come back.
Happy Rusev Day, by the way.
Happy Rusev Day. I told you he was gonna come back on Monday. He said, WrestleMania. I said, no, Monday.
Yeah, they
came
brought
back, he came back
Joe
Monday.
Hendry instead.
That was actually a pretty good match, though.
It was. Do you believe, though?
I believe in Joe Henry. Well, actually, no, I don't.
Oh, you did. You almost
Randy Orton completely dominated him.
He did dominate the whole match. 5-minute match.
Yeah, the whole was it really only 5 minutes?
It's only 5 minutes.
That's really
5:15, I think.
It's because it's a TNA star.
Yeah.
If he was in WWE, he'd be so over right now.
I mean, he did show up to NXT earlier this week.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Did
he lose that?
He called Trick Williams a whiny little,
Did he actually fight?
No, he just came out to the ring and...
I heard he came, so I assumed he fought, but...
somebody said his name and he appeared, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Does that actually happen? Like, someone just says his name and, like, his music?
Yeah. If you say Joe or Joe Hendry, he just appears.
Joe Hendry. Oh my god, he's on the screen. What the?
Oh my god, Joe Hendry! We said his name, he appeared, Lucas!
I believe
in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe...
Okay, we've been talking about wrestling for longer than we've been talking about the Carolina Panthers.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to talk about the Carolina Panthers.
Are we supposed to talk about the Carolina Panthers? I mean, they're
are.
poverty anyways.
So you said Jalen Walker.
Yes.
Why Jalen Walker?
I think... I mean, the Panthers have a problem everywhere. I don't think there's one spot I can say they're comfortable at. I mean, maybe quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Defense didn't play well. Offense didn't play well. It was basically pick a side and put a player, and you're pretty much... It could be possible. I could see Genty going here if he falls.
Genty?
If he falls. I don't think he's going to fall here, though.
Yeah, I don't believe he's going to fall there either.
Can you imagine if they got Genty?
Well,
that would help the offense.
Didn't they sign Rico Dowdle, too? Yeah, they signed Rico. Yeah, from the Cowboys.
Who's that guy?
I have no clue.
Dallas' best running back in the last 5 years.
Oh, Dallas really needs a running back, too. Oh, my goodness.
Maybe Dallas should draft Genty.
Maybe they should. Maybe they should trade up for him. That wouldn't be a bad move, but...
Can you imagine if Dallas somehow trades up to, like, the number 6 spot and takes Genty?
That would be crazy. That would be crazy. Well,
God.
Lucas, you want to know what else is crazy? I believe this is the most controversial pick in the entire draft. Is the 9th overall pick. Because there is so many different moving parts right now. But before we get into that, can we please get Joe Hendry off the screen? Joe Hendry is still on the screen. Can we just go back to...
Well, then go get your pick out of the way so we can put a pick on the screen.
Alright, go back to the NFL draft logo. There it is. Thank you. Okay, so
why is the draft logo on the screen? It went from a player to a...
No, it's been logo the whole time. We're just
I'm
putting every player. Absolutely not.
That'd be so fun.
No, I'm not putting every player.
You'd be editing for like 4 hours.
I'm not editing for 4 hours.
That'd be really funny, though.
No, I already have to...
It would be funny, though.
It would be really funny.
It would be really funny.
But it's not happening.
You know you want to do it now.
I'm not doing it.
Post-production Austin, think about it.
Stop it. Post-production
Austin.
Post-production Austin's going to unplug the cord from the computer again.
Yeah, make it... Yeah, the last, like, 3 times I've heard about you editing, it's gone wrong every single time.
Exactly, which is why I'm making it easy on me tonight.
Well, hey, if it doesn't go wrong by now, put players on the screen.
Okay. Well, there won't be.
There will be.
Anyway, with the number 9th overall pick, I believe the New Orleans Saints should take Shedeur Sanders, quarterback out of Colorado, and here's the reason why. When we look at a guy in Derek Carr, I will say that ever since his departure of the Las Vegas Raiders, he has been nothing more than unreliable. And this is coming from a guy that's defended Derek Carr time and time again. Derek Carr being off the field injured most of the time, or even on the field being a liability, has completely screwed the New Orleans Saints over and put him back 2 years. The fact that they had the entire NFL, including the both of us, fooled last year, winning those 2 games, putting up 90-plus points, defeating the Cowboys week 1, and then just going on a 7-game losing streak afterwards, that just shows how pathetic the Saints actually are. Now, give them credit where credit is due. Injury bug did kill them. The injury bug got caught on so many different players. Chris Olave got like his 5th concussion of his career. The defense was a complete train wreck. There was a lot of moving parts in that regard. But there is one thing that we can say about the Saints, and that is they draft a quarterback every single year, it feels like. Last year they went out and got Spencer Rattler. The year before they got a Jake Hayner. We saw shades of both of them in the preseason and regular season last year. And Lucas, I think me and you can both agree there is no future for Jake Hayner or Spencer Rattler as the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. It's not going to work out. Now, again, Dennis Allen was a god-awful head coach, and that's why he got fired halfway throughout the season. But I believe drafting a guy in Shedeur Sanders who somehow, some way is falling on so many people's draft boards, if nobody trades up to go and get Sanders and he's there at 9, the Saints would be fools not to take him. Start building now. Carr's not even guaranteed for week 1. I got Shedeur to the Saints.
Yeah, as much as I want to agree with you, I feel like that the Saints are going to just, for some reason, not draft Sanders. Like, I just feel like with the way Sanders has been falling in the draft, I feel like the Saints are going to be scared to take him, even though they should not be scared to take him at all. I actually have Sanders falling a lot in this draft. I have him going like a lot later. So
You just haven't gone to the Steelers, probably. Because you're a Steelers fan over there and you want them.
you do the same thing with the Cardinals every year.
No, I don't.
You say the Cardinals are going to draft like Tom Brady every single year.
Well, I did say I wanted J.C. Horn the 1 year, and now he's a Panther. Highest paid corner in the league.
Because you wanted him. Because you didn't think he was going to go there. You just wanted him.
I really wanted him. I was a big J.C. Horn fan.
Oh, so get a load of this guy.
I was a big J.C. Horn fan. I wanted J.C. Horn, damn it.
I wanted Powers Johnson, but I didn't get him.
Yeah, you wanted. I'm about to say, do we need to go back to last year?
It's not my fault.
No, wait, you wanted, who'd you want last year?
I
Went to the
wanted
Raiders.
Powers Johnson.
Oh, Power Johnson. That's right.
That's what I just said. We were just talking about him.
Go.
Do you have a picture of Jackson Power Johnson on the
Oh
screen?
my gosh. Jackson Power Johnson is now on the screen.
Mhm.
You know what? We'll leave him on for the rest of this take. Go ahead. We'll leave him on for the
Well, as
rest
much
of
as I disagree with this, I have my third offensive tackle of the draft going on this board.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeet.
Kelvin Banks Jr.
Ooh.
From Texas. Someone said Jackson Dart is going there. I saw that.
Over Shador?
I saw Jackson Dart on two people's mock drafts. I don't know how reliable they are. Couldn't tell you. Don't even remember the names or whose drafts I looked at because I looked at like 7 mock drafts. But 2 of them had Jackson Dart going to the Saints now over Sanders because Sanders apparently no one wants anymore. I think everyone's just scared that he's only being talked about because of his last name, and that's scaring away, I guess, mock draft makers.
Mock draft makers.
What else do you want to call them?
I mean, I guess.
Exactly.
NFL insiders?
I don't think I've looked at any insiders. I mean, maybe I did. I don't know.
That's mostly people that make mock drafts. We're technically NFL insiders right now.
We're not insiders. We're like the opposite. We
So
look
we're outsiders.
At, yeah, we're NFL outsiders because we look at the insiders to see what to talk about on the episodes.
For the NFL out. That's a crazy statement.
No, but I mean, I could see them for some reason just sticking with Carr for another year. Honestly, I don't even know if they're gonna take a quarterback because of how unsuccessful they are at drafting quarterbacks. Maybe they could try trading for a quarterback soon.
I mean, yeah, the best quarterback that they ever had in their franchise, they literally traded for. Drew Brees. They literally had to trade for him.
So I could just see them trading for a quarterback. They could take a lot of positions. I think building a line would help.
Building a line certainly would help. Again, my philosophy is if Sanders is there, you got to take him. And I know that the Saints are probably scared to draft him as so many teams are. I'm still shocked that the Giants went out and got as many quarterbacks as they did this offseason. I would say they have the Giants take him at number 3 if he's still there. But I don't know. Sanders,
Once again, people are scared to take him for some reason.
maybe he's interviewing bad. Maybe they see something.
Well, a lot of people are saying he's interviewing bad.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe,
Apparently he's fighting with like a lot of like the coaches and stuff.
which is crazy.
And he's not even drafted yet. That's that last name, Ego.
I guess it is.
You want me to go next? Can we start off next?
You want to go next?
I can go next.
All right. Well, we got number 10 overall. It is the Chicago Bears. Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you on this one.
Yeah, you probably are.
Can we take Jackson Powers Johnson off the screen, please?
Yeah, just put a picture of Matt Hardy on the screen.
Okay, man.
I'm just leaving him there for like probably like the rest of the episode.
No, I'm not leaving Matt Hardy on the.
Just leave him there for the rest of the episode.
Just for the rest of the Bears pick.
No, a little bit longer than that. Leave him until pick like 21.
No, I'm not leaving Matt Hardy on that long. People's gonna
Yes.
click off. No, absolutely
All right,
not.
leave him until pick 16.
No, we'll take him off.
Pick 16.
We'll leave him on for the
Pick
Bears because
16.
the Bears are irrelevant.
But Matt Hardy's not relevant. He's like the most relevant thing about this podcast.
Just go.
No, I don't want to go because like I'm trying to keep Matt Hardy.
Okay,
from being
fine.
on.
Number
No,
10.
I'm going. Calm down. Edge Mike Green. What?
Just the way you said it.
What? You were rushing me.
Mike Green. I wasn't rushing you.
You literally were about to go. If I didn't
Okay,
go.
why Mike Green? He's edge from Marshall.
Because I think that Chicago has improved the offense a lot. Yeah, it still needs improved. I mean, how many wins did it get last year?
It's not enough.
5, 6, 4, 5? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could just said it. I was asking you a question.
Oh my god. I was trying to make you look smart to make you look
Well, I guessed it in my first guess. I said 5, and I said or 6.
Shouldn't have overthink.
You overthink driving to the place you grew up at. Yeah. Your phone call ringer. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think God.
Austin, take Matt Hardy off the screen. Go back to the info logo.
No, you said
Thank
you're
you.
going to keep on for the rest of the Bears. And look, there's Matt Hardy again. You just put him back on the screen. You should never take him off because then you got to put him back on.
Alright, go ahead.
You put the draft logo on for like 3 seconds. You hate doing that.
Well, no, you cut me off before I even finished my
No,
thoughts.
no, it was done. So
Just
you
go!
you
Go,
have
damn
to
it,
put the draft
go!
logo on and then Matt Hardy back
I'm not doing that, but go
Yeah, on.
ahead.
Yeah, you
I'm
are.
not.
Well, I'm protesting this episode.
Okay. Anyway, number 10 overall, I have Jalen Walker. Edge from
Huh?
Georgia. I'll do it. edge from Georgia.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm doing that is kind of what you said with the whole defensive scheme for the Chicago Bears. I get it that you picked Mike Green from Marshall, but you had Walker going on a little bit earlier than I did. Walker is my best edge that I have available still, so that's why I have him going to the Bears.
I'm going up at 8 instead of 10. So.
Yeah. You have him a lot higher than I do. So.
I can't say yeah on this podcast normally anymore. I hope you know that. That's your fault.
That is my fault. But no, I got Jalen Walker going to the Bears. Let's move into
number 11, San Francisco 49ers.
I guess you'll just take over the episode then.
Actually, if you want me to, yeah, go sure.
No, it's not happening.
All right, so Lucas mock draft carries.
No, you're not doing that.
Number 11, we have the San Francisco 49ers. They had a struggle last season with injuries. This team fell apart. Not one position really stood out. I mean, the whole team had issues, left and right. I mean, okay, some positions stood out, but like most of them didn't. I'm taking defensive lineman Mason Graham. Yeah, I kept him this long. I know you were probably mad at that.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I believe Mason Graham, he has to be in the top 10 in my eyes. I believe teams are going to trade up for him if he's still there at 9 or 10. I could see the same.
I have him going one spot later. It's a big deal.
You have gosh, it's not
you
good.
said 10.
Anyway, I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to say Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss. He's also a defensive tackle, and yes, their biggest need right now is a tackle in terms of their defense. Nick Bosa is amazing. Absolutely love what he's doing, but you need to build that defense back up again. They're bringing back Robert Saleh, defense coordinator, former head coach of the New York Jets. He was amazing during his time in San Francisco. I believe Steve Wilkes is actually the blame for the regression of the 49ers last year, so he certainly is going to help out. But now, Walter Nolan, man, he is a monster. He is underrated. There are some question marks around him. He did miss 2 games during his collegiate career, so that's going to be something to watch out for in the pros. I believe he's ready to go, though. I got the Niners taking him. Bang, bang, Niner gang. But that takes us into number 12 now. This is where things get interesting. It is the Dallas Cowboys, and boy, oh boy, don't we live in Jerry's world now, don't we, Lucas?
Mm-hmm.
This is probably going to be the most questionable pick of the draft, knowing how the Cowboys usually draft their players. So, who do you got with the Cowboys taking at 12?
I have Tyler Booker, lineman from Alabama, offensive. I had to clarify. There's 2 different types of linemen.
Okay, go ahead.
Why are you yelling at me?
I'm not yelling at you.
I feel like you're always yelling at me.
Oh my gosh.
No, but I mean, Dallas could go in a lot of places. I could see them trading up, maybe. I could see them. I mean, actually, Jerry's world. He might just trade down actually and just say he doesn't need to fill any gaps this draft. But I feel like the line is gonna need to be fixed. You have Dak. He's just getting older and he's not playing as good. You don't want him to get hit. I watched like 2 Dallas games last year. One of them was against Cleveland, and Dak was just getting pressured the entire game pretty much. So you're going to want to fix that problem, try and get this offense going, and try to get Dak a couple extra seconds with the ball.
See, Lucas, here's the thing. Here's the thing that makes me so mad about this. You're right. You are 100% correct on that entire statement that you just put on this podcast. But you want to know who would disagree with you on that? You want to know who's going to disagree with you on that? Jerry Jones. We live in Jerry's world. So, yes, on paper, realistically, the Dallas Cowboys should go and do everything they physically, humanly can to protect Dak Prescott, who is making more money than any other quarterback across the entire league.
Which is sad, by the way.
But they're not going to do that, Lucas. They're not going to do that, which is why I have them taking Will Johnson, cornerback out of Michigan. Will Johnson is the best corner in this draft. Do they need one? Yeah, but they can wait till later. But knowing how Dallas is with their defensive players, when they have their eyes on somebody, they're going to go and get him. And they've had their eyes on Will Johnson since last year's national championship game. If he was actually entering the draft last year, the Cowboys even said that they would go after him. Now, that was more of Mike McCarthy. McCarthy obviously is no longer the head coach, so it may be a bit of a different story now. But they still need the corner. And they still need a corner. I got to go Will Johnson here, man. All right, next pick that we have is Jahdae Barron, cornerback from... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm reading my next pick. Oh, my goodness. I'm reading my next pick.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you want to announce the team first, or are you just going to throw picks out at me?
Number 13 overall, the Miami Dolphins.
You're going to give my pick real quick?
Well, I already said it, so it's Jahdae Barron.
I have Jahdae Barron.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have Jahdae Barron above Will Johnson? Really?
Listen, we don't talk about where I have Will Johnson at.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh. You have him really low. Okay, so I'm assuming it's the same reasoning for me then. It's because losing Jalen Ramsey, probably losing.
Not that Jalen Ramsey was
Xavier
great
Howard.
last year for the Dolphins, but
Yeah, I don't know. It's just Howard and Ramsey.
they need someone now. So,
All right, so we're in agreement there.
God, we don't talk about where I put.
Number 14 is the Indianapolis Colts. Lucas, I messed up on the last one, so you may take the lead on this one.
All right, well, at number 14, we have the Indianapolis Colts. Let me say that before I just throw my pick out there anywhere. I'm taking Tyler Warren, tight end from Penn State. I feel like we have like all the same players in different spots so far. Hopefully, giving some more weapons to Richardson means he won't tap out this year.
Oh, God. Well, that's even if Richardson starts. He has to beat Daniel Jones first in training camp. He has to beat Daniel Jones first.
If you can't beat Daniel Jones, just give up on your career at that point. No, but, I mean, give Richardson some weapons, please. We cannot have him tapping out. And God forbid if it's Daniel Jones, he's going to need everything he can get to throw to.
Facts.
It's not your turn to give your pick for number 14.
I know. I'm just trying to think of the way to word this. So here's the thing. I agree with you. The Colts need a tight end, which is why I have them picking Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan. I already have Warren gone.
Yeah.
So this is the next best tight end on the board. I agree with your entire statement.
See, we're agreeing a lot about stuff. We just have different players.
We just have different players. We just have them all over the board. So
Yeah.
I agree with everything that you're saying, but applied at the Loveland since Warren is already gone for me. I believe, like I said earlier, Loveland is the second best tight end in the class for this reason. He's a champion as well. You got to give credit where credit is due.
Let's move on to number 15, Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, this is a sad one.
Yeah, I have Walter Nolan, defensive lineman from Ole Miss.
Okay.
I know you're not going to agree with me because you said that a little bit earlier. Who'd you say that he was going to again?
Yeah, who did I say who was going to?
Walter Nolan.
Oh, 49ers.
49, that's right. Yeah, I had Mason Graham. Yeah.
Well, I actually kind of disagree. I have an edge this time. I know they just drafted one last year in the first round, but I have them doing it again this year with Mikal Williams. I mean, back-to-back years, 2 solid edges. I mean, that's something you want to do if you're trying to build a strong defensive front. And guess what? I believe the Falcons are doing just that. They were 15th last year in the league in sacks, 15th last year in the league of forced fumbles, and I think they were barely top 10. I think they were like right outside the top 10 in terms of overall pressure. So getting a guy in Williams who played for the Georgia Bulldogs, which is known for their powerful defensive players, I'm locked in on it. Give me Williams to the Falcons at 15.
It's your team.
It is my team. Coming up next is number 16th overall. We got the Arizona Cardinals. I would love to start off with my own team, but I want to go to you first because I want to hear who you have my team picking, and you better watch your mouth over there. If you have me taking stuff like Will Howard or something, I'm gonna knock you off that chair.
I gave you guys a fair pick. Hopefully, maybe I actually have no clue. Matthew Golden, wide receiver from Texas. Back-to-back years of taking a wide receiver first round, but it worked out last year. Give him a partner in Matthew Golden. I think that Kyler would have some options to work for. Try to get that 8 wins so Austin doesn't start saying fire. I just completely blanked on what I was going with.
Get trade Kyler Murray.
I was gonna say fire Kyler Murray. I cannot speak. Anyways, Matthew Golden.
Do you need some Tylenol? Are you okay?
Tylenol. How's that gonna help with me blanking? I don't have a headache.
It sounds like you have a headache. You're giving me a migraine over there with that nonsense. Anyway, I disagree with you. They don't need a wide receiver that early. They can get one later in the draft because of how deep it is. They need to get an edge rusher, and they need one now. Zaven Collins can't be the only guy you have. The best available one left on my draft board happens to be James Pierce Jr., who's from Tennessee. I believe he's not the best edge in this draft. There is certainly question marks revolving around him. But with how big this edge class is, expect a lot of them to go in the first round. The majority of my list is actually edge rushers because of how deep it is and how many teams are in need of one. And the Cardinals would be fools to pass up on one this early on if he is still there. This is a guy who's also interviewed with him multiple times. The Cardinals has been to his pro day. I believe this is a match made in heaven for them. He's not going to be a superstar. He's not going to be a player to take him over the top and push them into the playoffs. But he's certainly going to be a key contributor if they can get him at the 16th overall.
I can say his name. It's Kyler Murray. I just had a complete brain blank, and I could not say his name for some reason.
Congratulations. You can say the starting quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals.
I mean, it's a terrible team, so why would I focus on it usually?
Well, that's why we're going to move into a better team at number 17, which is the Cincinnati Bengals, another division rival of yours. And this is where I'm going to say, fix your defense.
Thank you.
That is what lost you. That is what made you miss the playoffs last year, was a lack of defensive support. And where does that begin? That begins in your secondary, which is something Cincinnati needs to fill and needs to fill now. The best available corner for me is Maxwell Hairston from Kentucky. That's going to be a steal of a pick if they can snag him there. Again, the corners in this class, they're always hard to put. Sometimes they go in the top 10. Sometimes they don't go till 32, 33 into the second round. This is where I think he is going to fall. If the Bengals can snag him here, they'll have a lockdown corner for at least the next couple years.
I'm going to be taking, at number 17, the Bengals, edge Michael Williams.
I mean, they just need defensive help.
You could put any defensive player on here, and you are correct.
Pretty much. Except for linebacker. They're good there. But
yeah, that's true.
All right, well, moving into our number 18 spot, we got the Seattle Seahawks. They made a lot of moves this offseason, and this is finally where I believe the next wide receiver will be taken. I'm not even going to say his first name. It's McMillan, Lucas. We talked about it earlier. Wide receiver out of Arizona. The Seahawks lost DK Metcalf. The Seahawks lost Tyler Lockett.
Which is crazy.
They still got Jackson Smith and Jigba, but I believe adding McMillan, who is a speedster of a wide receiver, he has a nice frame to him. He can go up there and grab balls. This could be the DK Metcalf replacement. I believe he will fit perfectly with the Seahawks. And honestly, I believe he will do well with Sam Darnold. I think him and Sam Darnold could be an underrated pairing this year.
At my number 18 spot, I'm not going to say this last name. I have them taking safety Nick Emenwari.
I know who you're talking about.
From South Carolina.
Yep.
As much as they lost on the offense, I feel like that they can wait a little bit to take an offensive player. I mean, they still have a decent offense. They just debatably upgraded on a quarterback for the next however many years in Sam Darnold. 3. So I think he can work with less weapons than Geno Smith would be able to do right now. I think Geno would be absolutely crapping the bed right now if he saw what happened. But Darnold, I feel like on the Vikings, his main guy was Justin Jefferson. But whenever he wasn't able to throw to Jefferson, I feel like he was still able to make the ball go down the field. I feel like he's going to be able to do it here. You definitely have to take some offensive players, but I think you can wait till round 2, 3, whatever.
Okay. I don't disagree with you on that one either because they certainly could improve their secondary. I believe they already have such a strong secondary with their corner room with Witherspoon and Woolen. That right there is 2 of the best lockdown corners in the league, and they have them in the same team. So I don't think they really need to worry about it as much. I get that the safety is definitely a position that they need with a lot of players they lost. But I was just simply looking at the fact that, hey, none of these teams took wide receivers. If McMillan is still there, why not take him now? Great wide receiver.
I already had him gone, so.
You already had him gone.
And I had the other wide receiver gone, too, so.
Yeah, this next one, I'm kind of interested to get your opinion on this one because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was actually the team I had one of the hardest time picking a player for. I had to keep going back on this one, and I finally made my decision, but I want to go to you on this one first, Lucas. Who do you have the Bucs taking at 19?
I had them taking linebacker Jaheed Campbell.
Jaheed Campbell. From Alabama, right? Linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. I mean, they have one of the greatest offensive players not of all time, but like in the league currently in Mike Evans. They got Godwin back. They got Baker. They have a pretty good line, so I feel like working on the defense could definitely help them out a little bit there. Yeah, this one was kind of hard to pick, though. I didn't really know what way to take it, but I'm going to go with the defensive side on this one.
That's exactly kind of my philosophy on it. I actually also have Campbell at number 19
really?
as well. Yeah, we actually do.
We're finally linking back up.
We're linking back up again. It's probably not going to last when we get to 20. But, no, I got Campbell at number 19 for the simple fact that Tristan Wirfs is already such a great leader on this offensive line that I don't believe they really need to worry about a tackle or guard this early. They can get a depth player, kind of like what the Steelers did last year with Mason McCormick. They waited later on the draft, somebody who I didn't believe was going to do anything, but actually is a key contributor for them. I believe the Bucs can do the same thing later on. So getting a guy in Campbell, they're in need of a linebacker. Most of these other teams are taking strictly edges, and Campbell is kind of a guy that is a one-way player and just a simply ball dominance. And having him there with Kalijah Cansey right next to him, that veteran experience is certainly going to rub off on him, and I think that's going to help him in the right way. So, yeah, I agree. I got Campbell at 19. The Bucs were such a hard team for me to pick. The next one, though, was actually pretty easy. And again, I'm kind of going against my philosophy on the running back room. I got the Denver Broncos taking Omarion Hampton at number 20, running back from North Carolina. I believe the Denver Broncos are one solid running back away from going over the hump. Now, they previously did have a North Carolina running back in Javonte Williams, which I love Javonte. He's now a Dallas Cowboy. He's going to be there. But Hampton, to me, is one of the most underrated guys in this entire class. I believe if Genty wasn't in this class, we would say no doubt Hampton is the best guy. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. But the reason why people aren't talking about Hampton as much is because of how great Genty is. And he's not the only great running back in this class. Let's not forget Trayvon Henderson from Ohio State now either, or Judkins. Like, this running back room is deep this year. There's going to be a lot of great running backs to go in rounds 2, 3, and 4 that we're going to have to keep an eye on for. But if I'm the Denver Broncos, let's be aggressive here now. You can get a wide receiver later on. You can get that defensive tackle later on. That running back, though, they're going to start going by quick once 2, 3, and 4 hits. And you're not in prime position to get a running back in those rounds. Get them now. Get them while you can. Give Bo Nix a guy to hand off the ball to. And boy, oh boy, Hampton, he's going to run it straight up the middle.
I'm actually going to agree with you on Marion Hampton.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually changed it because originally I completely forgot that they had Evan Ingram. I had them taking a tight end. But then I was looking at who their current tight ends were, and I saw Evan Ingram, and I'm like, wait, I forgot they traded for him. So I don't think that they need to draft a tight end anymore. For some reason, I just completely forgot that he even existed on this team. And yeah, I agree that running back is probably the next position on offense I would say they need.
All right, so we're in agreement there. Now, this is the part of the episode that everybody's been waiting for. This is the part we'll probably spend a little bit more time on than others so we can talk about the team itself. Number 21 overall is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I smell a disagreement on the horizon. That is why I'm going to go to the Steelers fan of the podcast, the only Steelers fan on to Jagoffs, which is pretty funny, actually, if you really think about it. We're a Pittsburgh podcast. Who do you got at number 21, my friend?
Well, whose name haven't I said yet?
I'll let you say it. It's your mock draft, not mine.
Shedeur Sanders. I mean, look, he liked the visit here. He said, someone asked him a question, who does he think that the best duo is going to be in the NFL? He said whoever the quarterback there, DK Metcalf and George Pickens is. Come on. I mean...
Which, by the way, I disagree with. That's an awful statement.
I mean, but he made it. Does that not mean he wants to come play for the Steelers after having a good time with them and saying that he sees why Mike Tomlin's the best coach in the league? Which I also kind of disagree with that part too. But
let me ask you a question. What if Aaron Rodgers signs tomorrow with them? Or tonight even? Because this episode's coming out right before the draft. So what if Aaron Rodgers signs tonight? Or tomorrow?
He can sign tonight, but what's our plan? I guess we could wait till next year.
Is Rudolph just immediately getting demoted back down the third string again? Because you're not going to put a rookie...
He's second string.
So you're going to make a rookie third string. You can't make a rookie third string.
Well, I don't know if we draft Sanders still.
That's the thing.
I think we wait till I'm saying I think we wait till next year.
That's my point. Where is Aaron Rodgers playing this whole scenario?
If Aaron Rodgers signs tomorrow, we probably draft next year. If he doesn't sign tomorrow, we probably remove our offer.
Because let's not forget, you're saying that Shedeur Sanders made that comment. Okay, well, there's proof of Aaron Rodgers working out with DK Metcalf and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Maybe that workout went wrong.
Maybe it did.
Maybe that's why he didn't sign yet. If he doesn't sign and we do draft a quarterback, I think we take away Aaron Rodgers' offer. I don't think it'd be smart to have, 4 quarterbacks on the team then?
Well, Thompson won't make it past training camp.
Well, that's true. But I don't think we need another 3 quarterback situation even. I think...
Relevant ass name. Sorry.
I think that we just let Rudolph and Shedeur run it and work on Shedeur. If Aaron Rodgers signs tonight or tomorrow for the draft, we probably do a very, very last second change. And if you were to ask me who I think we take, I have no freaking clue.
Well, it would be interior defensive lineman is what you would go after.
Well, yeah, there's a couple of names we'd probably go after on the D-line, but...
I haven't taken Jackson Dart. And the reason why is, A, Sanders, I believe, will already be gone. There's no way I see him fall into 21. If the Steelers were to be aggressive and trade out for it, yeah, I could see it. But I don't believe the Steelers are willing to do that. So that's number 1. Number 2, Jackson Dart to me would fit more in a Mike Tomlin system than a Shedeur Sanders. You need to be disciplined when you're quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Honestly, I believe that's an underlying reason why Justin Fields didn't work out with the Steelers and why he was benched and Russell Wilson came back even after winning 4 games and only losing 2. A guy in Jackson Dart comes across as somebody that has the willingness to learn. And I'm not taking anything away from Shedeur Sanders or questioning his character at all because I've never met the man. Hell, I've never met Dart. Never met any of these players that's being drafted. But I will tell you right now, based on the interviews, based on the vibe that you get from watching these press conferences, it's clear that Jackson Dart has more of a willing to learn rather than Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur is treating it like a business. Shedeur is simply treating it like his next future job.
I think he also has a little bit of an ego because of his last name.
That was the other point I was going to make. With that being said, though, Jackson Dart has one hell of an arm. And something we got to question with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this was a debate that lasted a long time on Steel City Commuters earlier this week, and this was between me and Nick. You weren't on this episode. The Pittsburgh Steelers, when are we going to start questioning the defensive players of this team? I believe we put too much pressure on Mike Tomlin, me included. Don't get me wrong. I still believe Tomlin should be fired. I still believe that this is no longer his team. I believe he lost the locker room. But we put the blame on offensive coordinators all the time. We put the blame on quarterbacks all the time. Why are we not putting the blame on guys like Cameron Hayward, who's getting up there in age? Why are we not putting the blame on Minka Fitzpatrick, who's giving up 5 to 15 yards every other play? Why are we not putting the blame on PP, Penalty Porter, Joey Porter Jr.? Why are we not putting the blame on TJ Watt, who has not recorded a tackle since Christmas? Why are we not putting the blame on those players, Lucas Kuhns? Why? That is a major issue and a flaw that we need to talk about the Steelers. I know I said PP, you're laughing over there. I did say it. You're funny. Very childish over there. Anyway, the Pittsburgh Steelers need a quarterback. Mason Rudolph is not the guy. Anybody that believes that he can compete with Lamar Jackson, Myles Garrett, and Joe Burrow twice a year really needs to look in the mirror and rethink their decisions on becoming an NFL fan, because Mason Rudolph couldn't even do it against the Bills. So I am going to sit up here and say Jackson Dart is the guy. I agree, though, Lucas. They need a quarterback. I just don't see Sanders being there, man. I really don't. You don't have anything to add on to that announcement?
I like Dart.
Huh?
I said I like Dart, but I'm saying if Sanders follows you, I take Sanders.
I agree. I just don't see it happening.
I don't know. There's just no one can figure out where Sanders is going because his draft just keeps tanking.
But 21 though, 21. I don't know, man. That's pretty low for Shedeur Sanders. I see some people taking Will Howard and Kyle McCord and Jalen Milroe.
I mean, with the way he's ruining his own character by yelling at coaches or disagreeing with coaches before he's even a player.
That's fair.
And with him being questioned if he's even better than some of these other quarterbacks, I could see it being a possibility. There's only a couple teams in front of us I could see taking him. Maybe 2 or 3 other teams in front of us. So the competition's light.
It is light. Let's move into the LA Chargers now at number 22. This is another interesting team. They usually don't draft well, but they're here at 22. Kind of an awkward spot. Not really a good spot to be drafting from. AFC West rival. I already am gonna disagree with you because you picked this player earlier. I got Matthew Golden, wide receiver from Tennessee, and the reason why is because, or did I say Texas or Tennessee? My bad.
Anyway, I don't know what you said. I forget now.
I don't even remember. Anyway, Matthew Golden is one of the most underrated wide receivers in this entire class. You know what I meant. I believe he will make an immediate impact, and something that we've been saying for years now is Justin Herbert needs weapons, man. He really does. They made moves in the offseason. They made moves in free agency. They tried drafting Quentin Johnson. It didn't work out. They're bringing back Mike Williams. It's not going to work out. They got to go ahead and get a young receiver. Matthew Golden's the guy.
Yeah, I'm going to take this a different direction. I have them taking Kenneth Grant, defensive lineman in Michigan. The Chargers need help on both sides of the ball. I don't know. I mean, they worked on offense in the offseason more than they worked on defense, in my opinion. They worked on the offense more last draft, in my opinion, than they did this season, or are going to probably this season. So I feel like they might aim for defense, but I could see them going offense. The problem is I already have the wide receiver. I already have all like the good wide receivers. The first round wide receivers gone pretty much.
That's fair. Not to mention that Joey Bosa is no longer a part of this team, so that's a big hole. He
Yeah.
can definitely fill that hole. So I can see that. What about the Green Bay Packers though? They're all over the place right now. They need a lot of different players. A relatively young team and honestly a relatively banged up team. Who do you think they're taking at 23?
Here's where I get sucker punched in the face. Will Johnson,
Ah,
back from Michigan.
there it is.
I told you you don't want to know where I have him. Should have told you to cover your ears first.
I should. My ears are bleeding now. Well, I don't think they really need a corner as bad. I believe they need an edge slightly more, which is why I'm going to take a guy that you said earlier, Mike Green from Marshall. I believe he's going to be the biggest steal of this draft. He goes to not as popular, not as notable of a school as some of these other players do. And I believe he's going to be someone that stands out. So Green Bay, I think this will be a great fit for him. Next up, we got the Minnesota Vikings, division rival to the Green Bay Packers. And I'm going to go a different route here. I'm going to go defensive tackle out of Toledo. I'm talking Darius Alexander, who, in my opinion, could fall out of the first round. I could see him being a late second round pick guy just because of the end of last season. There was times where he didn't really play as well as we expected him to. But this is still a guy that I think is first round capable. This is still a guy who I believe can make an easy transition into the pros. Again, though, Lucas, you can't say, oh, this guy's pro ready, because I hate using that term. There's no such thing as pro ready. It doesn't matter if you pick one or pick whatever the last pick in the draft is. I mean, look at Brock Purdy. Did we expect Brock Purdy to be pro ready? Absolutely not. He was third string quarterback. Now he's the starter for the 49ers. But I believe that I believe that Alexander can make this transition. That's why I got him at 24.
Yeah, I have them taking Maxwell Hairston, cornerback, Kentucky.
Okay. Glad he didn't leave him out. Knocked you off. You did. I'm sorry.
I got so confused at first. I don't know why.
I'm about to say, you look blanked out there. I was like, what?
No, I mean, I really wanted to go offense here, considering that J.J. McCarthy, probably is going to be their starting quarterback, and he's going to need some weapons, or just everything to work with, and maximum protection. But now it looks like he might not even play the first 6 games. So I don't really know what direction they're going to take this, but I think that they could use some help on the defensive side of the ball.
No, for sure. And that's a good transition into your second favorite team in football, Lucas.
Oh my God.
The Houston Texans. They need some help, man. How are you going to help your boy C.J. Stroud?
I'm going to help my boy C.J. Stroud by giving him the big old Josh Simmons, offensive tackle from Ohio State.
Okay. Why?
I can't tell if you like that pick or not. You're looking down right now.
I am. I was trying to pull up my draft thing because it X'd out on me.
Oh. I mean, Stroud needs protection, man. He has, theoretically, assuming they can stay healthy, he has the weapons there. He just actually needs them to be there for him whenever he needs to use them. But I think he desperately needs a good line, man, and I think that this could help him out.
I agree, which is why I have them taking Kevin Banks Jr., offensive tackle out of Texas. You took him earlier. I think he's going to fall to here. I think he's slightly better than Simmons. Simmons is a champion, though, so we do got to take that in consideration, winning the national title with Ohio State. Excuse me. The Ohio State.
My fault.
I miss doing that. It's been a while since I've done that.
It has been a while since.
The. Just like I am the wrestling extraordinaire, this is the Ohio State University. But no, Simmons ain't going to go there. It's going to be Kevin Banks Jr. But I love the thought process that you have. You got to protect C.J. Stroud. You got to, man. Next pick that we have is the L.A. Rams.
Knight, yeah.
Not LA Knight. You lost to Jacob Fatu.
Can you put a picture of Matt Hardy in the screen real quick?
God. There he is.
You know, you act like you're so disappointed, but whenever I don't say it, and then we call that same night, you're like, dude, you didn't say Matt Hardy at all. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, I did.
It's like, you literally, you're forcing me to do this. Like, you're forcing my hand.
Can I tell you who had the Rams taken? Because it's actually an underrated pick.
I mean, if you want to.
Siobhan Revel Jr., cornerback from East Carolina. Another school that not many people are looking at. Another school that is not... And, you know, put the draft logo back on the screen for right now, because Siobhan Revel Jr. deserves to actually have this draft logo up on the screen in the background, not a picture of Matt Hardy, because this guy right here has been extremely talented for the 4 years that he's started. I mean, he's broken school record after school record. He's a great entrepreneur outside of the classroom. He's straight A student, 4.0, top of his class. This is the kind of guy you want in the locker room. This is the kind of guy you want your kids to get an inspiration from.
Nerd.
And it's...
I'm sorry. I had to.
Oh my God. This is the kind of guy that you would want to have in the locker room, who creates good vibes, great memories, and most importantly, lays it all out there on the gridiron.
Yeah, I mean, you got the position right. You just got the name wrong. Trey Amos.
Ooh.
Cornerback Ole Miss.
I don't trust him. I don't. I haven't fallen out of the first
You're
time.
so happy and giddy over there. What's going on with them? Why are you so giddy?
I don't trust Amos because
Amos?
I don't trust... Not Amos. I'm not talking about...
I said the Moss.
Oh,
is that what you just said?
Yes.
The Moss.
No, Omos. You've had me saying Omos now.
It's Amos.
I know. Trey Amos.
I think you said Demos.
I said Amos. Amos.
Amos?
I don't trust him because he's injury prone, but I like the point that you're making. They definitely need a corner.
You know what I wonder?
What?
How many people have actually Googled Matt Hardy and trying to figure out what's funny about him that we keep putting him on the screen? There's literally no reason, except we just do.
I know, it's so weird.
Like, how many people do you think have actually, like, put Matt Hardy into their browser history?
Probably a lot of people.
That's actually sad. Yo, Tim, where are you at, bro? We're trying to send you merch, bro. You did not comment.
Come on, Tim.
Come on, Tim.
Damn it.
Tim, if you're here, you gotta listen to the Easter special, because if your name's Tim, you might be getting some free stuff.
I forgot about Tim.
I did not. I've been checking social media all day, hoping a Tim would comment so we could bring it up on this episode that someone named Tim commented. But no one named Tim commented on any social media or DM me. As far as I know, he hasn't DM'd you.
Nope.
So, like, Tim, do you not want the free merch, Tim? I know you're listening, Tim. Tim, I'm talking to you, Tim. Comment, Tim.
Who do you think Tim has at number 27 for the Baltimore Ravens?
At number 27 for the Baltimore Ravens, I think Tim definitely went with James Pierce Jr., edge out of Tennessee.
Ooh, the guy had to go to the Cardinals earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I disagree. I have another edge, but he's already gone on my end. So, again, the same position, just different players. I got Shamor Stewart, edge from Texas A&M. You're probably laughing because you probably have him in the next couple slots. But, yeah, again, this is an edge-heavy class. My next pick is actually an edge as well, so that's probably why you're
Well, let's just get into our next pick right now.
Yeah, let's go into the
number 20
Lions.
for the Lions. I have Shamor Stewart, edge out of Texas A&M.
And I have Jordan Birch from Oregon. So that is the last edge. That's actually the last edge I have in the first round. So many edges are going to go by. I got Stewart at 27, Birch at 28. Let's go into the Washington Commanders, a team that shocked the world last year. A rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels doing something sensational, something that's never been done in NFL history.
Jaden Daniels is going to be the guy.
He is the guy, and he's going to need some help being the guy, which is why I have the Commanders taking at number 29, Trey Harris, wide receiver out of Ole Miss. This is a guy right here that was Jackson Dart's favorite weapon to go to, and that's for good reason. A guy that can create separation. A guy that is great in 2-to-1. A guy that is great in 2-to-1 coverage, man coverage, zone, you name it. This is a guy that can run against any of that. This is a guy that does really good on post routes as well. And guess who's throwing him the football? Jaden Daniels. What is the Washington Commanders' specialty at? Play action. What is the number one kind of route you run on a play action? A post route, especially when you're in the slot. And guess what? Trey Harris was in the slot for Jackson Dart. He will be in the slot for Jaden Daniels. They will make magic happen. Be right back in the playoffs if they make this decision. I got Harris at number 29.
I have them taking offensive lineman Gray Zabel.
Well, you're wrong.
North Dakota. You gotta protect my boy Daniels, all right?
You do gotta protect your boy Daniels, but North Dakota State, I don't know, man. The last couple of plays they took out North Dakota State, like, you want to know who the last first-round player that came out of North Dakota State was? Trey Lance. Just saying. I'm just saying. I think I see regret in your eyes.
All right, well, next up at number 30, we have the Buffalo Bills taking safety Malachi Starks. I think that's how you say his name.
Ooh.
Safety from Georgia.
I go in the opposite direction here. I think that you need to get a wide receiver, man. I really do. I know a lot of people aren't
I
taking
think
shots.
Allen proved that he's all right without another wide receiver.
I think he did, but guess what? There's a name that neither one of us said that is first-round capable, in my opinion, that I can't believe will fall to 30. Luther Burden III, wide receiver out of Missouri.
Luther is a cool name.
I love Luther. I've been following him for a while. I've been keeping him. I said he was the best receiver in the class. I take that statement back after seeing guys like Harris and Golden. But he's certainly first-round capable, in my opinion. The only question is what team will take him. And if he's there at the Bills, why not? Why not?
Why not?
What about the Chiefs, though, at number 31?
Well, the Chiefs at number 31. If my list would load back up there. I have defensive lineman Darius Alexander, Toledo.
I have him going early, and he definitely would be a great player. But
I mean, you did say you could see him falling. I have him falling.
I did say I could see him falling, but with them already losing so many different players on that offensive line this year, you got to build that back because you don't want another situation where Patrick Mahomes is running for his life like he did in the Super Bowl against the Bucs. So I'm gonna go with Josh Simmons, offensive tackle from Ohio State, the Ohio State University. I believe he's still gonna be there, and I believe the Chiefs are gonna snag him.
Yeah, I really want to take an offensive lineman because I mean, if you look at the Super Bowl, what happened to Mahomes, but like throughout the year, I mean, yeah, Mahomes was pressured a lot this year. But until really that Eagles game, I didn't see it as a major problem. I thought that the defense was struggling the entire year. The line just kind of fell off the last couple games, and then obviously the Super Bowl. But I feel like the defense kind of had a struggle bus the entire year.
Oh, for sure.
So I lean towards the defensive side.
Agree to disagree. They're both great points. Either way, the Chiefs would be happy with it.
Well, number 32.
Didn't even finish my damn point yet, ass.
Oh! Everyone hear that? This is what happens off camera. He always swears at me.
I do. I called him an ass. Womp womp.
You were gonna go further, but you.
I was gonna say hole afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackass.
Yeah.
Jackass, asshole. You're both.
Just throwing out cuss words left and right. Apparently, we're not getting monetized today.
No, we're not getting monetized. I already messed up earlier whenever I said, what was it? I said, damn it, I think.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I mean, Jane, I didn't catch you, so I would have called you out on it.
Nothing beats me saying the F-bomb, though.
With the
brick roads. Nothing beats the F-bomb there. I'm being a little more open with it now because, like, kind of have to. I mean, in the interview that I did, I'm not going to say the name, but in the interview that I did coming up on Sunday, I called somebody a jackass. So.
Oh my god. Well, it's weird seeing the Eagles here at my number 32 slot.
I still wasn't done talking about the Chiefs. But I guess we can move on. All I wanted to simply...
Continue your point. Finish your point. Give me a thumbs up and smile whenever you're ready for me to go.
Okay, all I was trying to say was I agree with everything that you said about the Kansas City Chiefs in terms of their defense. Either way, the team will be happy with whatever move they make, but I believe offense is more crucial than defense right now for them. Here's your smile and thumbs up, Lucas. Your turn. Let's talk about the Eagles. And now he's protesting.
Oh, sorry, I fell asleep. It was just such a boring finishing statement.
There.
You want to do that again for the promo?
No.
But at the end of the promo?
We already got a banger promo. We're not messing it up.
We do have a banger promo. Donovan Eziriaku. Edge from Boston. I have no clue how to say that name. This is the one I was most worried about saying the entire episode. I tried.
This is not going to sound good at all for me. I wanted to put him in this list so bad. I couldn't say his name to save my life, so I just left him off because of that.
What a terrible take.
Well, here's the thing.
Imagine being a coward.
It was between him and Jordan Birch for Detroit. That was my last edge. So I flipped a coin and I got Birch. And I was like, okay, let's do it.
You don't flip a coin. You're just going to say the name.
And that. But no, I do believe I wasn't going to take an edge at 32 either way. I believe they were going to go tackle here. I got Josh Cornerly Jr. from Oregon. This is a veteran guy that protected Bo Nix, that protected Dylan Gabriel, that went on to be the number one seed for most of the year, being the number one team ranked in the entire nation. I believe adding a guy that has those accolades and a guy that has that veteran experience will fit right in with the Philadelphia Eagles. And guess what? They lost the tackle in the offseason. Do you know what they're going to need to protect Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts? A tackle. This is a guy that can create separation. This is a guy that can open up the run game for the Eagles, and that's exactly what they're going to do. I got Cornerly Jr. at 32.
Pretty good list. We agreed a good bit. Maybe not on player names, but on positions at least.
Yeah, we kind of had the right idea of where players were going to go. It was just kind of picking and choosing on where they actually landed.
I think we had a pretty good list.
Well, this is the end of our NFL Draft 2025.
Yeah, I think I did better this year than last
I will
year.
say you most certainly did better. You knew your stuff this year. I mean, there was a couple of disagreements. I'm looking forward to seeing the whole Carter Hunter thing. I'm so 50-50 on it. I don't know what's going to happen there. That's going to be the biggest headline.
As long as Carter's not number one, I'm happy because him and his agent can get a reality check.
Yeah, I don't see them going to the Titans. I mean, I believe he's better than Cam Ward. He's a better prospect, but for the Titans' sake, it would make no sense. It would make zero sense. But again, the Jaguars drafted Trayvon Walker, the 1 year number one overall, and I mean, look at that, double-digit sacks back-to-back years.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to wait and see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of Two Jagoffs. Make sure you stay tuned for this Sunday. We have an interview that we've been trying to get done for a couple of weeks now. It finally worked.
Many weeks and many reschedules.
Okay, well, thanks for calling both of us out on it, Lucas. But this is a really fun episode. Another student athlete from Point Park University will be joining us on the show. Very down to earth, very humble, very good guy. I think you guys are going to enjoy that episode a lot. There will also be a promo in it where I'm going to be kind of embarrassed. So you guys are probably going to like that.
Is it the one that I said that you should do?
No. But
dang.
it's still going to be embarrassing. I'm still going to be the butt of the joke either way. So that's okay.
Hey,
but
can you put a picture of Matt Hardy on the screen to finish out this episode?
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, actually you are.
No, we're not doing
Look,
that. I already have the logo. No.
Oh, what's up,
anyway,
Matt Hardy? What's up, Matt Hardy? How you doing there, Matt Hardy?
We're not doing that. We're not doing Matt Hardy. Two Jagoffs logo is on the screen for the conclusion.
Boring.
Anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in to yet another episode of Two Jagoffs. Make sure you stay tuned for the social media pages as well. We have a lot of fun content on there as well with TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So make sure you go drop a follow and a like. Lucas, do you have any final words for the Jagoff Mafia?
May the best draft list win.
May the draft list win, my friend. I'm excited to see the results. Next week on Two Jagoffs, we will be recapping it, going through the draft process, and talking about our teams before we go into the training camp cycle. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again so much for tuning in. Until next time, here on Two Jagoffs, we will see you in the next one.
Peace.